A single Canadian first-time buyer who stacks the First Home Savings Account and the RRSP Homebuyers Plan can unlock $100,000 of tax-advantaged down payment money, and a couple can unlock $200,000, all under current CRA rules. Most people use one of these accounts and quietly leave the other one empty. By the end of this, I'll show you exactly how to open both, fund them, and combine them for the same home purchase. I read the fine print so you don't have to. That $100,000 breaks into two parts, up to $40,000 in FHSA contributions, and up to $60,000 you can withdraw from your RRSP under the Homebuyers Plan. A couple doubles both numbers, which is where the $200,000 figure comes from. Here's why getting this wrong is so expensive. On a $700,000 condo, a 20% down payment is $140,000, and without these accounts, you'd have to save every dollar of that out of after-tax income. Stack the FHSA and HBP, and $100,000 of it comes from registered money, so you only need $40,000 from your TFSA or cash to hit the same target. There's also a hidden tax bonus most people miss. FHSA contributions are deductible like an RRSP, so deducting the full $40,000 at a representative 30% marginal rate could cut your tax by roughly $12,000. And that's a modeled example that depends on your own bracket. Then the money comes out tax-free for the home. A deduction going in and no tax coming out. Now let me walk you through the 3 moves that actually build this stack. Move 1 is to open your FHSA right now, because contribution room only starts accruing once the account is open. Eligibility begins when you're a resident of Canada, at least 18 or the age of majority in your province, and a first-time homebuyer under CRA rules. You can contribute up to $8,000 per year toward a $40,000 lifetime limit, and unused room only carries forward up to $8,000. So the most room you can ever have in a single year is $16,000. Waiting to open the account permanently shrinks your window to reach that $40,000 cap. This carry forward cap trips a lot of people up. If you skip a few years thinking you'll catch up later, you can't. You can only ever carry $8,000 forward, so the maximum in any single year is $16,000. That's exactly why opening the account early matters more than funding it heavily. Move 2 is to line up your RRSP for the Homebuyers Plan, which lets first-time buyers withdraw up to $60,000 per person to buy a qualifying home. Log into CRA My Account to confirm your RRSP deduction limit and check you qualify as a first-time buyer, which generally means you haven't owned a home in the past 4 years. The catch is timing. Contributions must sit in the RRSP for at least 90 days before withdrawal to count for the HBP. Fund it early so you're not scrambling in the 90 days before closing. Move 3 is the actual HBP withdrawal, and it happens when you have a firm agreement to buy or build a qualifying home. You submit Form T-1036, the Homebuyers Plan request to withdraw funds, to your RRSP issuer, and you can pull out up to $60,000 tax deferred. Just remember you must repay the amount over 15 years, and if you miss a year's minimum repayment, that portion gets added to your taxable income. Plan the repayment before you spend the money. The HBP isn't free money. It's a loan to yourself. You repay it over 15 years, and any minimum you skip in a given year gets taxed as income, which can quietly erode the benefit for over a decade. Build the repayment into your budget from day 1 so it never becomes a surprise tax bill. Move 4 is to map everything against your actual goal in a simple spreadsheet or budget planner. Set your target price and down payment. For our example, that's 20% of $700,000 or $140,000. Then list your FHSA of up to $40,000, your HBP of up to $60,000, and your TFSA balance. Aim to cover $100,000 of that down payment from FHSA plus HBP before you rely on taxable savings. That way you only need $40,000 from cash or TFSA instead of the full $140,000. Before I get to the biggest myth, which is the most counterintuitive piece of this, Move 5 is a mindset shift about government incentives. To see how powerful they are, look at the RESP. The Canada Education Savings Grant pays 20% on the first $2,500 contributed per child each year, up to $500 annually, and a $7,200 lifetime maximum per child. That's proof these programs hand out real money. And ignoring your FHSA deduction and HBP capacity is the same as walking past a 5-figure benefit. If this is useful, subscribe. The next breakdown is already coming. Here's the 2 paths side by side for our example buyer. Doing nothing means saving the entire $140,000 out of after-tax income with no deduction and no tax-deferred capacity. Stacking everything means $100,000 comes from FHSA and HBP. You only need $40,000 in cash, and you pick up roughly $12,000 in modeled tax savings along the way. A swing that depends on your bracket but easily runs into six figures over a lifetime. Now the myth I promised, and it's the most counterintuitive part. A lot of people believe you have to choose between the FHSA and the home buyer's plan for the same home. That's simply false. Multiple 20U26 guides confirm there's no rule stopping you from using both together, and combining them is exactly the point. One buyer can reach $100,000, and a couple can reach $200,000 from registered accounts for a single qualifying purchase. Let's run the whole stack back fast. Open your FHSA today because room only accrues once the account exists. Then fund your RRSP toward the $60,000 HBP cap at least 90 days before you plan to withdraw. When you have a binding agreement, submit Form T-2036 to pull the money tax deferred. Then map $100,000 from FHSA and HBP against your down payment target. And treat every incentive as real money because leaving this room empty is a 5-figure decision. The single biggest mistake is waiting until you've found the home to set this up, because the FHSA room and the 90-day RRSP rule both need a head start. Next, I'm breaking down exactly how to repay the home buyer's plan without triggering a surprise tax bill. The part most first-time buyers get wrong years later. If you want to catch that one, subscribe so you don't miss it.